Hello everyone, so as you can see we'll be starting to play Stardew Valley, and I will be starting a new character, and so this is quite a bit different than Final Fantasy XIV Online, as this is can be single player, but as I'll just click back again, you can see you can also play co-op, and that's either a local or via the internet. Or, well, it's all via the internet if I recall correctly. Anyway, so you can design your character, and we'll just have it as my normal. And, of course, we like penguins, right? And so I'll probably design my character how I usually have it. If I can find the same things. Oops. Yeah, I totally want a beard, right? Yeah. So there we go. So then we have... Now, originally in the game, we only had the standard farm, but since then we've had these additional games... Or maps, sorry. And as you can see, there's a red outline. Because I clicked on that and now it's back on standard farm, which is the one I will be using. And I have actually not ever played any of these other ones except for Riverland with my sister and her fiance. We were playing a co-op version. Well, I joined their game, rather. But that's the only one I've tried of the rest of them, and there are a lot of mods for this too. So at first there's going to be kind of a story introduction game to this, and so here we go. Oh, yes, animal preference. Do you like cats? Cats? Or do you like dogs? I usually go for cats. Anyway, good enough. There we go. And for my very special granddaughter, I want you to have this sealed envelope. No, don't open it yet. Have patience. Now listen close. There will come a day when you feel crushed by the burden of modern life. And your bright spirit will fade before a growing emptiness. When that happens, my dear, you'll be ready for this gift. Now let Grandpa rest. And I'm assuming it says 20 years later, or just unknown years later. I wonder who that could be. And then we have a good co-worker over here. And so we click on the envelope, and it reads, "Dear Celebrian, if you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I had lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections with other people and nature, so I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. I've enclosed the deed to that place, my pride and joy, the Canadian Gaming Penguin farm. It's located in Stardew Valley on the southern coast. It's the perfect place to start your new life. This was my most precious gift of all, and now it's yours. I know you'll honor the family name, my dear. Good luck. Love, Grandpa." P.S. If Lewis is still alive, say hi to the old guy for me, will ya? And click the X to close it. And now the road isn't usually abnormally large, it's just because of my monitor. And so you could skip this cutscene. As you see at the bottom there's a skip button, but we'll be watching this. Hello, you must be Celebrian. I'm Robin, the local carpenter. Mayor Lewis sent me here to fetch you and show you the way to your new home. He's right there now. Yeah, he's there right now, tidying things up for your arrival. The farm's right over here, if you'll follow me. And so she leads you to the farm. And this is the farm! This is the Canadian Gaming Penguin Farm. I'll just call it Penguin Farm from now on. And yeah, yikes. What's the matter? Sure, it's a bit overgrown, but there's some good soil underneath that mess. With a little dedication, you'll have it cleaned up in no time. And here we are, your new home. Ah, the new farmer. Welcome home. I'm Lewis, Mayor of Pelican Town. You know, everyone's been asking about you. It's not every day that someone new moves in. It's quite a big deal. So, you're moving into your grandfather's old cottage. It's a good house. Very rustic. Rustic? That's one way to put it. Crusty might be a little more apt, though. Rude! I actually love that comment. Don't listen to her, Celebrian. She's just trying to make you dissatisfied so that you buy one of her house upgrades. And busted. Anyway, you must be tired from the long journey. You should get some rest. Tomorrow you ought to explore the town a bit and introduce yourself. The townspeople would appreciate that. So, I pretty much never actually go the next day to introduce myself. Oh, I almost forgot. If you have anything to sell, just place it in this box here. I'll come by during the night to collect it. Well, good luck. And so, day one thus ends, technically, and day one of real game begins. And as you can see, there's a bit of tutorial. Movement is the WASD. The shift is for turning off the run, which I actually forgot about because I never turned it off. And right click is to interact. So here we receive 15 parsnip seeds. Here's a little something to get you started. Mayor Lewis. And you see that we got this introduced. So here's a quest for introducing ourselves to some of the people around town, and we have 2 of 28, so that's Robin and Lewis. And then getting started, cultivate and harvest a parsnip. So if you hit the escape key, if you are using a PC, and you see you have a menu here, and this is our inventory, and eventually we'll have backpacks to unlock this row, and then another one to unlock this row. They cost different amounts, and we'll get to that when we need to. So anyway, so we have parsnip seeds, we have an axe, we have a hoe, we have a watering can, we have a pickaxe, and a scythe. And these never break. So unlike some games where these break, these never break. You can get upgrades for these, which increases their efficiency and also reduces the amount of energy that is used when you use it. So as you can see in the bottom right here, as I just moused over, we currently have 270 out of 270 energy. And so there's various items throughout the game that will increase your base energy and will also restore your energy. So say I had a parsnip grown, it would give me a certain amount of energy and health, which we'll get to later, if I ate it. Also in this menu, you see your skills, so there's farming, mining, foraging, fishing, combat, and at now it's 0. My first recommendation is to get foraging up as fast as you can, and you cutting down trees and, well, literally going out and around foraging is counted under foraging. Mining is pretty much standard. Farming is harvesting, I think. I don't think hoeing and watering counts as that, but I could be mistaken. Fishing, obvious. Combat, also obvious. Also in this menu is we have the socials. So we see Robin and Lewis at the top here because they are currently the first 2 people with the highest heart rating. So you can see these hearts here and basically your friendship level. And then you can see everybody else is listed here. And if they have single in parentheses, so you see how this character here has single, and this character here has single, and you saw a bunch of other ones along there. Those are the bachelors and bachelorettes that you can marry in the game. And I usually pick Alex here, which you will meet later. But anyway, and then there's also a map, and this shows you this is the Canadian Gaming Farm, Penguin Farm, and it doesn't have a realistic view of what is it or what's on the farm, so you can see there's planted crops there and the pond there, which is accurate, and this pond here, which is also accurate. But as you saw a moment before, we had a whole host of trees, stumps, bushes, etc. And here there's those Wizard's Tower, Marnie's Ranch, and it also gives you when it's open and most days. And home of these characters, these characters, these characters, blah, blah, blah. This one, well, this is connected to this, but Pierre's General Store is where you're going to get your seeds and other items for farming. But there's alternatively Joja Mart, where you could also get that. Prices, I believe, are all higher in Joja Mart. And the general rule of thumb is, which we'll see later, but sort of a spoiler, Joja Mart is kind of the bad guy, if you will, in this game, and helping Pierre's store is the good guy, per se. And then this is the community center, and that's the main thing for, as some would put it, selling your soul. Otherwise would be doing this through Joja Mart, and that probably doesn't make sense, but I will get to it when in a few days time. And then obviously there's fishing here, so there's a pond there for fishing, there's this river here for fishing, there's the river here for fishing, there's a lake up here, and then there's the ocean down here, and the lonely stone, the poor lonely stone. Anyway, so that's the map there, and you can either close that or hit the OK button. And then crafting wise, you see there's a list of things that we can craft. My first recommendation is collecting wood and crafting a chest, because as you can see, this is going to get filled very quickly. And if you have worries about organization, there's also a sign that you could put. What I do is when I craft a chest, there is a you can choose the different colors, so once I have it crafted, it'll show you. And then that way I organize by colors. And this is your collection. So here you have a list of all the various farming or artisan goods that you can have. So items shipped, farm, and forage. Your fishing goods, your artifacts, your minerals, your cooking, and your achievements. And it kind of tells you how you get these achievements. Now, on Steam, but then there's your options. So your auto run, show portraits, show merchant portraits. Only show tool hit location, so I'm going to actually turn that on for a while. And I'm just going to leave that as the default, and your dialect typing sound, rendered borderless, menu backgrounds. So, there's that. Lock toolbar, zoom level, zoom out, medium. There's no transparency, use hardware cursor, so if I didn't want to use that, I would use this. Or, this is the hardware cursor. This is the game cursor. I just stick with the game cursor. And then you can invert toolbar scroll direction, use tool left click C. You can change the mapping, so you don't actually have to use WASD. I prefer it just because it's easier and inventory slots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, minus and plus, and I think, or not 10, 0, but 10 slot. And there's the exit game and exit to desktop. So the way this game saves is you need to complete a day. And if you're wondering, you have a time here. This is important. When you're in the menu here, the game is paused. If you're playing a co-op game, the game does not pause ever. So be cautious of that. The other tidbit of advice to start off is your weather report. And you'll see that tomorrow it's going to rain. And it always rains on the second day of a new game. Another thing to, for hints, living off the land. So you see, we're back up again with another tip for y'all. Now listen up. This one's for all you greenhorns out there. Chop wood and search for wild forage to earn some cash while you're waiting on your first harvest. So there's that information tidbit. And there's also going to be, oops, I didn't mean to click that again. There's also going to be a Sundays and Wednesdays, I believe, they'll have a recipe for cooking. And so, as you could see in our house there, we didn't have a kitchen. So we can't start cooking, but we need the upgrades from Robin to do that. And before I get any further, that's just a big quick tutorial of the menu and whatnot. So watch your energy, watch the time. If you're not in bed before, so I will go and demonstrate. If I ran over to my bed here, you'll see go to sleep for the night, yes or no. If I clicked yes, it would put me to sleep. And then we would wake up again the next day at 6 in the morning. So if you want, okay. Going to sleep is one for restoring your energy, but also saving your inventory and stuff. So you might end up passing out, not at home or on your farm. And if you do that, it can sometimes cost you money. I'm not actually sure what the currency is in this game. We'll say G for gold or something. And so if you don't get to bed, there's that penalty. There's also an energy penalty. So overnight, if you get to bed at midnight, then your energy will be fully restored. If you get to bed after 1 a.m., there will be an energy penalty because it's basically you're only getting a certain amount of sleep, so your energy wouldn't be restored in that realistic sense. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the scythe here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually clear some land, and this does not use any energy. Now this stuff here, I'm going to leave as best as I can because I will probably use that later for my animals that I eventually will have. And so there's barns and there's coops, and I will obviously be getting those. And so since I'm going to be doing the community route, some of this stuff is very important to get done early on. If you want to do the 2-year time limit, well, not time limit. There is no limit to this game. This game you can play for as long as you want, forever, however long you want. After 2 years, Grandpa makes a visit, spoiler, and he bases how your progress was in your game. And so there's a point system, and if you want to see that point system, you can actually find it online on the Wikipedia page, which is very useful for information. And so I'm going to clear this out, and you can see I'm using energy, and a lot of it is going to be used with this just by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and plant the parsnips. And I'm going to need one more spot, or 2 more spots, I guess, for these mixed seeds. And these mixed seeds will be grow a certain list of crops that are available during spring. So each month there is 28 days, and most of the crops only grow during that particular season. So the parsnips are a spring-only seed, as you might have seen actually in the description of the parsnip seeds. So what I'm gonna do is collect some wood here, and I'm going for these partly because it takes very little energy, and also because I want to keep some of my energy. And if I get any more of the mixed seeds, I want to be able to plant those. So you can play a lot of different ways. When I first did this game a few years ago, I was all over the place. I started playing, well, I didn't start playing again, but I started playing again about a year ago, and I was significantly better then than I was, partly because there's the Wikipedia, partly because there were some changes, made things easier or better. Take your pick. And so I was able to, I'll just pull these up here. And as you can see, the color on the, you can also see there's different seeds that plant, so those are probably parsnips, and that's, I'm not sure what. So in order to refill your watering can, you need to collect it there, select it, so in that case there, and then use it in the water there. Sorry, that was very stumbly, rambly. So part of the reason why I started picking up Stardew again is I ended up watching another YouTuber who does Stardew Valley games, and there are quite a few of them. And I really got into it because I was watching his playthrough of it, and it just made me want to play again. So here we see our first little minion. I mean munchkin. I mean kid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I messed up again! And as you can see, her name is Jess. And if I'm not mistaken, that's just a shortened name of Jasmine. And so you don't have to do this, but I usually clear this out because then it makes maneuvering around very easily, or easier. Partly because there was also these, but I'm actually just looking around for forageables right now, because if I can sell them to Pierre, then I can get more seeds for other stuff. And as you can see, my energy is also on the lower side, so right now we have a wild, that, and coal. And as you can see, we don't have enough wood yet for a chest. And the reason why I'm going this way first is because often there is a spring onions. And as you can see, there are some here. So I'm actually gonna toss out this mixed seed. So in order to do that, I need to open up inventory. And hopefully I can pick this up before, and see, now it's on the ground here, but I can't pick it up because my inventory is full. So anyway, so we got some spring onions here. I can't remember if that's what I called them or not, but anyway, there's usually quite a few of them, and they're good for both energy, especially early on, but also for selling. And Haley's too involved to notice. So because we didn't officially meet Haley, she's still up there on the list, so now we've met Jazz, Haley, Robin, and Lewis. And we'll just introduce ourselves. So some of these things, on these forageables, I keep to, actually, since we're here, this is Marnie's farm, so we'll go say hi. If she's here, and she is. She's in the kitchen. Ah, Mayor Lewis told me you just arrived. I'm Marnie. We'd meet her in a few days anyway. And there's her cows. Or is that a cow? Anyway, so obviously you can see you start at 500. Another thing to do is check the garbage. And we see we have a broken CD, so I'm just going to leave that there. And there's nothing in that one. So you can check these once a day. And hello, Emily. Oh, I can read it in your face. You're going to love it here in Pelican Town. If you're ever looking for something to do in the evening, stop by the saloon. That's where I work. And we see more people. We see Evelyn. Why hello, and welcome to our little community, dear. You can call me Granny if you like. And yeah, there's some ways you can't get. Oh, aren't you the one who just moved in? I'm Maru. I've been looking forward to meeting you. So, tidbit advice, if you do look in the garbages, make sure there's nobody around or within that vicinity, because they will question your intentions of digging through the garbage. Oh, you aren't exactly how I imagined, but that's okay. I'm Jody. You weren't how I imagined either. Hello, you must be Celebrian, the new farmer. I'm Caroline. Nice to meet you. And Vincent. Ah, stranger. My name's Vincent. Mama says not to talk to strangers, but you seem okay. And Harvey. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Harvey, the local doctor. Now, normally I don't do this, but since everybody was just there, I decided to do that. And so the next important thing is this. This side is the calendar. As you can see, it shows the 28 days and whose birthday is when. So Lewis's birthday is on Sunday because the week starts on Monday, which I hate personally. But anyway, so the first birthday is Lewis's on Sunday, and Sundays are technically a new week, but yeah. And then you can see these represent the egg and flower festivals, and then you can see the other birthdays for the various other characters that we have either met or not met. Hello, it's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. And so here's the first backpack, and the first upgrade is 2,000 gold, but you can't get that yet. So as you can see, we can sell some of these things directly to Kier, and I'm going to do that because I'm going to spend most of that on getting something. Well, as you can see, so parsnip seeds, plant these in the spring, takes 4 days to mature. Plant these in the spring, takes 10 days to mature, but keeps producing after that, and I think it's once every 4 days after. So I'm gonna grab a couple of those, and a couple of those, and some of these. And tulip seeds, kale seeds, and jazz seeds we'll get some other time. And then you can see there's the grass starter, so that's helpful for your farm for feeding your animals, because if you, in the spring, summer, and fall, if you let them out, they will eat grass there rather than them eating hay, but we'll get to that some other time. There's sugar, wheat, flour, rice, oil, vinegar, all for cooking purposes, or sometimes as a quest thing. Then there's wallpaper, catalog, cherry tree, things, blah 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 blah. We'll worry about those later. And so the next thing I'm going to do is speak to Alex first, I guess. Hey, you're the new girl, huh? I think we're going to get along great. I'm Alex. Super. And because we see another person here. Hi. Yep. She's a wordy person. And we see green algae. And normally I'm not going to do this, but as you can see, it just zapped right in because it's right there. So I'm going to go like that. I'm going to pick the seaweed. Why? Because it's good energy and I'm probably going to need it. And there's Lewis, but we'll talk to him some other time. We've already met him. So I am going to go and plant these. And so another tidbit advice, be careful of how many things you plant. And there was another person. And these. Be careful of how many things you plant because you will need to be able to have enough energy, well, to harvest. And, well, not harvest. Harvesting is free. It doesn't take any energy. It does take a lot of time. But what does take a lot of energy is planting, hoeing, and watering. Mostly watering. And I actually meant to put that one there, but that's okay. And so what I'm going to do with the cauliflower after I fill that up again, but I didn't really need to, is not place it there, but place it here, if I can. And I'm gonna chop this sapling down because it's gonna annoy me. And I'm gonna chop this tree down. As you can see, it's taking up a lot of energy. And then I'm going to clear that stump because it's going to be in the way. And then you meet things like this. And it says your axe isn't strong enough to break the stump. And that is partly why there's the upgrades. So as you can see, I still have the beans, and I'm actually going to plant them aside because, let's say, plant them. You see, I can't run through them because they have bean poles, which makes sense. And as you see, that's vibrating there, telling me I'm almost out of energy. So I'm going to eat that, just in case. And I don't quite have enough wood yet for a chest, so I'm going to go ahead and clear up my farm as best as I can with getting hopefully enough wood. And as you see, you need to be pretty close to your wood, not wood, your drops to get enough. Oh, look at that. I literally just got enough. So I'm going to open up the inventory there, craft a chest, and I'm going to plop that chest right there. And so normally what I do is, you can see at the top here, there's the various colors, and you can't see it really right there, but you can see an example right there is the various colors. So what I usually do with forageables, I usually don't even remember anymore what I usually pick. We'll just go with the standard one for forageables. So I'm going to plop those things in there. And normally I'm going to sell that. So the first day we're not going to make much of anything. I could go around and forage some of the things in town or whatnot. But I'm actually going to just take this time to knock down some of these bushes and hopefully get a bunch of mixed seeds or various other things for planting the next day. And as I said, this does not take any energy, but I would recommend being a little more cautious about what you plant, or not what you plant, how far you go out, because when it gets dark, it gets dark. And as you can see, it's getting very dark here, and eventually it will be rather difficult to try to maneuver my way around. Which is why I'm trying to make a path back up here, so I can just work over on this side. And as you can see, we've got a few forageables, and we are almost done. And then you'll see random things popping up like that. I believe that is a oak tree seed or something. Anyway, so I'm going to use as much time as I can until closer to midnight before I head to bed, because then I will not incur a penalty, and as I'm not going to use up my energy, I won't be exhausted or anything like that for the next day. And as you can see, it's very hard to distinguish what's what, and so I'll probably keep doing this until around 11 and do this. So right now I've only gone through the basics of planting and harvesting, just the planting aspect and purchasing of seeds. There is a lot more to this game, and we can't do mining yet. We don't have that available until I believe the 4th day it is. And my one real big tip is I would use the Wikipedia, especially if you're trying to get the community center and the full points, or even some points for the 2-year thing, for the grandpa thing in the 2 years of the game. And I think that shall be it for this day. And I've realized that the video is a little long. Hopefully it'll be edited down. So before it gets even later, I'm going to head to bed, as it's starting to get late. And so each day, it usually, as you can see, there's the progressive game save, and that is how your game saves. And because I didn't actually put anything in the bin over here, I did not actually make anything. So if you right-click that, you can have the option of dropping these things in. Fiber is pretty easy to come by. You do need it for some crafting, but you can pretty much easily get that, so if you wanted to toss that in there, it would. Otherwise, it usually gives you a detailed list and a breakdown of what you sold and how much you got for them and whatnot. So that is it for this first video. Thanks for watching!